Hi there folks, and welcome to my channel. I'm doing some stash busting today using some of my 6x6 papers. So I'm making coin envelopes, and I'm also making these lovely little pocket tags that you can write on the back or use for whatever. So I thought I'd come on and show you how I make mine and give you the measurements for these. So I'll start off with the coin envelopes, although I'm sure most people have done these before. I just thought it'd be really nice to come and show you. The paper pads I'm using are, this is a Kaisercraft confetti, and the reason I like this is because, well, apart from the fact that the papers are lovely and there's not much left, you've got these fabulous pages in which you can cut up and put on the front, including this ribbon paper, which is brilliant. And then this one, the Bo Bunnies collection, I just love the papers. And you've got, those are a little bit too big, but you've got those, but you've also got, if I can find it again, another page. And of course it's sod's law that I can't find it. It's not much to look for, Teresa. Well, if I use the last one, maybe I've used the last one, and yeah, I must have done use the last one. So, but you had all of these smaller papers on it, which were just perfect for my coin envelopes. So let's get on and show you those. Let's pop that down. So my coin envelope, don't need my trimmer. I do need my scoring board. So looking at your paper, now this paper has got these patterns, so we know this is the top and this is the bottom. You can have it that way round, but those would be at the back and you'd lose that one. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to put that as the top and this as the bottom. So I'll put the top in first. Let's turn it that way so you can see, and I'm going to use my bone folder to score at 3/4 of an inch. So holding that up as tight as I can, 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to flip it all the way around, and the reason I flip it is because if you look, this is not fully 6. So there's my 6 line there, and it falls short. So I'm going to swizzle it round and do another score at 3/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to turn it sideways. So now this is the top and the bottom, and I'm now going to score at 1.5 like that, and I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to go to 1.5, and then I'm going to go 1 notch over, so it's 5/8. So 1 5/8. That'll give me just enough overlap to be able to have a nice seam. Now what I'm going to do is we have got to get rid of these 4 by notching in ever so slightly. So what I want to do is, now tip here, when you are notching in, don't notch in like that, because what happens is, and as it intersects, I'm aiming for this side of that square, so I want to cut all of that square away if I can. But what happens if you do it like that is that you end up with that kind of break going on. So you're better off trying to finish midpoint along the blade. So I'll bring that back up and I'm going to notch in, and I'm only going about let me think, about 1/8 up, and I'm going to finish all the way, and that way we get a clean cut and it doesn't tear or rip, which can sometimes happen. I'm going to come this side, I'm going to come in same amount this side like that, and then I'm going to come up, so that's about 2/8, and then this one is about 1/8, and I'm aiming for the top of that intersection. There we go. It's a much cleaner way of doing it. So again, coming in aiming for the top of that, halfway along my blade, and again there. So how's everyone doing? How are you managing with all this enforced isolation? It's not easy, is it? I mean, I wear my Fitbit and I'm normally doing close to 10,000 steps a day with going into the office because I'm on public transport. But it's really difficult to even get to 5,000 now, I've noticed. So I'm going to try and go for a nice long walk this afternoon, and with a little bit of sunshine. And the other problem is, because I'm working from home, there's not much opportunity to get out in the sunshine because I'm sat at my desk in front of the laptop. So not easy, but you know, I've got it easy compared with a lot of other people, so I'm not moaning, not at all. So I'm just bringing in all those creases and reinforcing those with the bone folder. Now what's happened here, look, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but I've overshot a little bit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in with my scissors. I'm going to butt it up to that crease, and then I'm going to cut. And that just is enough to give me a nice clean cut there. The other thing is this is a much a flatter angle than this one. This is a very steep angle. So I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to try and cut, because this is the top. This is going to be my flap. So I'm going to try and give that a little bit more of an angle to it. So that's better. Right, so let's get rid of that. So now what we have to think about, because we've got these patterns here, is I'm just going to have a look, decide whether I want that inside, that's one look, or whether I want it outside, that's the other look. Now on some of my others I usually do put it on the outside, but actually with this one I think it looks much better on the inside like that. I think you can see the pattern much better, especially this bit here. So now I've got to decide, which way do I want it? I think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put a bead of glue along the top of this flap. Now I don't want to go too far down, so I'm putting it on the inside. I'm putting the glue on the outside so that can go over. If I was putting it on the outside, you just go around the three edges, because you don't want to glue down here because you've got that slight notch there. So I'm going to push that back in. I'm going to bring that across, and I'm going to put a thin bead, very thin. If you put too much on, what will happen is when you bring this piece across, it flattens out and goes on the inside of the pocket. How do I know these things? When you've spent all day making them and then you come and find that half of them are glued shut, it's not much fun. Okay, so that's that glued. I always do like to open them up and make sure there's no glue on the inside. Then I'm going to have a look now. What do I want on there? Do I want, actually, some larger dots look quite nice. And then maybe, do I want that, or do I want some stripes? Some stripes might be good. Or do I want to go for a full grey? Oh, I like the grey. I'm going to go with the grey, I think. I can't tell, is that butterfly? No, anyway. So I'm going to put some glue on here, if I can get the glue out. All across here. Yeah, it's not much fun coming up to the craft room Sundays when you're sat at a table all day and then you want to come and sit in the craft room and you're sitting at the table again. It's seems like I'm swapping one desk and table for another some days, but But hey ho, it's got to be done. So I'm going to raise this one up. Some of them I've put flat, but this one I want to raise up a bit. I think it just deserves that little bit of an extra lift. Do like these Poundland stick, what they're called, dimension foam pads, but they are very sticky. I suppose that's the nature of the beast, but sometimes you just can't get them, and sometimes they stick to things you don't want them to stick to, and goodness me. So, but I'm not moaning. Shouldn't moan, should I? No, not at all. Right, let's bring this over. So which way around do I want it? No, I think it looks better that way. Let's stick that down there like that. Let's get rid of those. Come behind and give that a snip. So that's how I do my coin purses. And these bits that I've got left over, I've cut off, I keep them because then what I do is I have now lost. Where have I put that? There it is, right in front of me. So I like to use these. These are really a brilliant find I found at a car boot sale. Where else? But yeah, these I don't even know what make they are. I probably do know, but it's just slipped my mind. There's nothing on them. But yeah. Oh, CK. But these are really good then for using on these little bits that have got left over, because I can just punch out some flowers, shape them, and then if they've come out, shape them like that with my old glitter girls. I like this one because it's got a nice big ball on it, so you get a really nice shape. Not that you can't with a smaller ball, but I just think I get a real nice tight flower shape with it. So I'm just going to pop the one on for now. There we go. Get a nice tight shape, and then I go and flatten it, don't I? Oh well, there we go. So that's my coin pocket. Let's push all those, and let's now do the tag. So I do love making these. And I think these. I think I saw the original idea, because it's not my idea. That's I've got to be clear. It's not my idea, but I think it was Septeria 65 or something like that. I'll link the channel below anyway. I can't remember. I think it was, or I'm not sure. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take this and we're going to cut it at 3. So measure that up. So this is a 6x6 paper, cutting it in half at 3. We'll put one to the side, and then we're going to take the other one, the other half, and because now I can make 2 out of these. So we only need 1 piece. I'm going to take this to 4. So I cut out a piece now that's 4 by 3. Pop that to one side for a minute. And then this piece I want to cut down to 1 3/4. So it's only tiny, but I really like these. I think they're so cute. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now, where's my corner rounder? I'm just going to pop that in, and I'm going to round off all 4 of those corners. If you wanted to, there's no reason why you can't punch a hole in the top and put some ribbon through just to decorate that a little bit more. Let's bring this was another Tool Buddies. I think this was probably free from a magazine or something, but I picked it up for 50p at a car boot. Amazing what you can find. So now I'm going to pop this in here and I'm going to score this at 1.5. So the long side score at 1.5 all the way down. Flip, no, was it 1.5? It's 1 inch, isn't it? Duh, ignore that, forget that. Let's pop that down. That out. 1.5 was for the other. Oh, goodness. It was for the other pocket, wasn't it? So pop that back in. It's 1. So we're scoring at 1. It's 4. Yes, 1. Scoring at 1. And then this one we're going to score at, go to 3 and go the notch below. So we're scoring at 2 7/8. So I always go to 3 and then come 1 down. Just makes life a little bit easier for me instead of having to look out. Then I'm going to turn it on its side again, and this time I'm going to go at 2 3/4. So we'll go to 3 and 2 notches down and score like that. Okay, there then, ignore that score there, that was completely wrong. So I'm going to notch in the same as we did with the other one. I'm going to bring that up and I'm aiming for the top of that square, and I'm going to put a little notch in there and bring that in and get rid of that corner completely. I'm going to do exactly the same on this side, aiming for the top of the square where those two lines interconnect. So all the way down and cut just above that. So there we go. You can get rid of those. Now I'm going to bring in this is a 1 inch hole punch, and I'm going to punch a small finger hole. I'm just going to do it by eye, like that. Now this is the time if you want to do any distressing or anything, you can bring that in and just distress that if you want to. And then I'm going to fold those in, making sure I line that top line up. Turn it round and do exactly the same on the other side. This is why I do them together, because they are so similar. It's just a matter of size. And bring that one up as well, because essentially this is a coin pocket but in miniature, isn't it? And I'm going to open up my glue, decide which way I want to glue it, and I prefer to have these on the outside. This is a repetitive pattern, so it doesn't make an awful lot of difference. So tiny little bead on both sides, bring that across, and then on the bottom as well, tiny little bead, bring that across. Put the lid on that, and then I can use my bone folder to reinforce those creases again. There we go. Bring that down, bring those across, and there we have our little holder. Now I've gone slightly up there, so I'm just going to bring my scissors in and follow that across to there, just to even that up. Very simple. There we go. Pop that in there. And sometimes you can mix it up. Sometimes if I've got contrasting papers, I'll just swap the tags around. So instead of it being like that, I might swap those. These don't really go, but you get the idea. I might swap those like that, so that you get a different look. Now, let's have a look at decorating. So I've already cut lots of my strips out and what have you. I quite like that with the green. Best day ever, it says. Or do I want more? That one says remember. I'm just going to use that one, I think. And then let's have a piece going across like that. No, I don't think I want that one. Let's have a look. These might be a bit too wide. Yeah, that's too wide. Let's try that one. I like a bit of green with the pink. That's better. That's better. Although I might just cut that off. Let's measure it. So if I hold it like that and go across just a bit more to give me a measure. And I think I'm going to cut, there's a white, I don't know if you can see the white line there and the pink line there. I'm not worried about the pink because you're not going to see it, but I think I'm going to get rid of that tiny thin strip of white. There we go. That's got rid of that. I do like a long pair of scissors. It's good to be able to do it in one go, isn't it? Right, let's put some glue on this. Tiny little beads of glue. Don't be too heavy handed. It's not very thick paper, so there we go. Bring that up. Put that on there. There then. Do I want to raise this one up as well? Best day ever, or do I want it flat? I'm going to raise this one up as well, I think. Just a couple of these foam pads should do. I don't know why, but they seem to have cut these all the way through the backing paper as well. There we go. I'm just going to pop one each side like that. Any more than that I think would be too much or too heavy, and any just the one pad's not going to do much good, is it? So there we go. And I'm going to pop that down there. And now that that green strip has had a chance to dry a little bit, turn it over and just snip that off. And there you have it. One, and I like to do a little production pad, so I will be scoring all of these. I'll be cutting them all together and I'll be scoring them all together, so I might do 3 or 4 pages at one go. But it's I just find it so relaxing, and it just is a fabulous way of stash busting as well, especially if you've got lots of 6x6s, and I seem to have acquired quite a lot over the last few months. So yeah, I thought it'd be really good to sit down and do some of these to relax, and so that when all of this is over and done with, I've got lots in my stash for giveaways, because I often pop little bits in there if I'm sending happy mail or giveaways or things, so, and then that can have a nice little message on it. Okay folks, well I hope that was you enjoyed that, and please do give these a go. I'm sure you've all got plenty of those already, but do give these a go and let me know how you get on. Okay, take care and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye for now.